all secret, man. It's like you can't. I'm going to try it again when I go home, and that's definitely one of my missions in life is to find out what my SAT score was. But, yeah, but anyways, it should be all test-based. And because also the way, and it should, teachers should have zero influence on what your grade is. Right now, teachers can decide what your grade is, and that's like the feudal system. I mean, that's like somebody else owning your soul. That's like, you live on the Lord's land, and the Lord can decide if you have to get kicked off the land or not, you know. But then the world changed, and right now, nobody can kick you out of your house. Nobody can strip you of your social security number or whatever. You know, you're an independent individual. And that's what it should be like in school. Because it's not like that. Teachers can fuck you if they want. I mean, I'll give you a personal example. I got screwed. I went to school to be a teacher, English education. And like, I did 100 practicum hours, all the practicum hours. I took both of the tests. I took all the classes, and in the very last class, it was supposed to be a test. I mean, it was supposed to be like a 3-week lesson plan you make. So I made a 3-week lesson plan, and everybody presented their lesson plans, and it was all crap, the other people's lesson plans. Mine was 50 pages long. I wasn't allowed to present mine. I was the only person in a classroom of about 8 people, and I was the only one who wasn't allowed to present my lesson plan because the bell rang and it was end of the year, 30 seconds into my presentation, so I wasn't allowed to do that. And everybody else's was crap. It was like 2 pages long. It was like games. And, you know, the entire semester of that class, by the way, it was just people sitting around talking bullshit that had nothing to do with, I mean, talking about their lives. Nothing to do with teaching or lesson plans or anything. It was just showing up and like blabbity blabbity. It was ridiculous. But anyways, then the teacher goes, your title needed to be different. This needs to be the title of that chapter. And didn't make any sense to me. And he also wanted something else, like capitalize this word or something. And I didn't do it because I just didn't see the point. And then he goes, okay, well, I gave you a grade, but it wasn't very good. So I was like, whatever. So I go travel and I come back and I go, okay, well, I'm ready to do my student teaching. And after I do the student teaching, I have the test. But then they go, you got a D- in the class, so you can't do the student teaching. Forget about it. You're not going to get your teacher license. You fail. So then that's all because the teachers, didn't like me. So teachers, that's like owning my soul. That's like putting all the power in the hand. And they're like, why? That's back to the factory worker shit, man. The boss at the factory worker can fire the factory worker, send them home, send them packing. And, I can give you tons of examples like that about teachers. I had another class where the teacher said, oh, yeah, here's your grades. You're not going to get any below B-. Okay. And then I get my grade a few weeks later, and it's a C. Because they were like, oh, I don't like him. Okay, we'll give him teachers can, it's common knowledge. I've had kids have told me, 4.0 kids have told me it's all about brown-nosing the teacher. If you can brown-nose the teacher, then you're in. If you can't brown-nose the teacher, you're fucked. So it should not be like that. So basically the way it should be is that the teacher could hate your fucking guts, and they have no ability to give you a good grade or a bad grade or nothing. The grade is about one thing. It's about how well you do in the test, and that's it. And in the test, as far as the test, yeah, it should be multiple choice. It should be written papers, and when you grade a written paper, it should be graded by somebody who doesn't know who you are, so that there's no bias, and some people might be like, well, if the teacher doesn't have any ability to fuck the student, then the students are just going to be assholes to the teacher, and they're not going to have respect because they're not going to be afraid of the teacher. But it's like that, well, that doesn't have put any faith in kids. Oh, do you think all kids are evil? Kids aren't evil, man. Kids are gonna respect the teacher because the teacher's there talking to them and trying to help them out. So you don't need teachers out there. And I mean, if a teacher wants to like not like have a problem with a kid, you know, you have video cameras all over the place. Just play the video camera of the kid being an asshole to the kid's parents. You know, you can have a student-teacher conference. Or not even have a student-teacher conference. Email the parent the video of the kid acting like an asshole. And, you know, kids are going to be good. People are not evil. People are trained to be evil because they get fucked when they're younger, and then they get angry, and then they want to fuck other people. You know, somebody gets beaten by their dad, their alcoholic dad, they become an alcoholic and beat their kids. It's like that. So you treat kids with respect, they're going to treat their kids with respect. So, anyways, that's what, I mean, and now that new educational system that I just proposed, where it's all based on tests and nothing more than tests, that's going to motivate me, for example, and motivate a whole lot of people to get a whole bunch of degrees, and it's going to motivate people to study. Because then people will be like, yeah, I have a degree in microbiology, I have a degree in astrophysics, I have a degree in geology, I have a degree in psychology, I have a degree in history. I have like 20 degrees. You know, you could have 20 degrees. Everybody could have 20 degrees. And then if everybody has 20 degrees, people could, it would open up the job market so that you'd never have problem filling up a job because there'd be so many people qualified for it. You never have unemployment because, you know, you never have like this area of the world needs this kind of person, and, you know, this kind of person can't find a job, because it just fills up because everybody's qualified. because people are allowed to get that degree by passing the test. And if you fail the test, it's because, well, then you're going to study harder, and then you're going to pass the test, you know? Because the way it is now, people don't study for shit, because then because all you have to do is show up. Because it's all about hours. I logged my hours. So you show up and then you pass. Well, yeah, so you show up and then you're there on your cell phone all day long, or you're passed out because the teacher's going blah, 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 blah. So basically, to recap what I stated in the last few minutes, half hour, whatever, blast grades the fuck out of the window. No more GPA. It's all about tests. If you pass the test, you get the thing. Keep ranking. School ranking system, first, second, third in my class, keep that. Only make it everything. Ranking in every single subject, and then subjects combined and all kinds of stuff to motivate people to compete with each other. Make it so that teachers have zero ability to influence your grade. It's all about how you do. And then make it, I don't know if you should make it like legally, you know, mandatory, but make education, well, yeah, I think actually legally, make it so that all of your works, all of your papers, and all of your test scores and everything are on your website. So if somebody wants, you know, if a job application, or maybe even a school, you know, to get accepted to a school, instead of looking at some application you send or letters of recommendation or whatever, just go to their website and see what they made, see what they did, read their paper. You know, somebody might go, oh, but that takes time. No, it doesn't. You go and you click a few pages, you read this, and then somebody might go, oh, but plagiarism. Plagiarism. Well, include video. People should have to have a video as well as a written paper. So if you think somebody plagiarized their paper, well, just watch the video. And if the person blabbed the same thing that they wrote in the paper, well, then they're not plagiarizing, are they? And because writing and plagiarism, it's totally different now anyways. I mean,